Hello and welcome to Manchester FA's player registration demonstration. Today we're going to be looking at registering players within leagues across the county. The first action you need to do is log into the whole game system. This can be accessed via Google and searching in the top bar the following address: wholegame.thefa.com. You will need your fan ID and password to log into the whole game system. Simply enter your fan in the top box and enter your password below. If you have forgotten your password, you can use the handy "Have you forgotten password" link, which will enable you to reset the password. Once you've entered your fan ID and password, press the login button. When logging into the dashboard, you will see all the roles that you hold within football. This may be club secretary, club chairman, or player registration officer, club treasurer, or club welfare officer. Any of these individuals can do player registrations for your club. As club secretary, you'll have the most access to the site on a frequent basis. Select the club secretary tab at the top. This will open the club dashboard for your team. Today we're using the Manchester FA rep team as an example. With the size of some clubs, you may look to enlist your team managers to support you in the process of registering players for the upcoming season. To assign the managers the role of club player registration officers, you need to use the Club Officials tab on the left-hand side. To do so, click the blue Add Official button. You can search by their fan and date of birth if you know it, or search by further details about that person. If you input their first name, last name, date of birth, and postcode if you know it, the system will search to find that individual. Once the individual has been found, you need to select the role for that individual by clicking on the drop-down box and selecting Player Registration Officer. Enter a start date for the role. I'm going to set this as the 4th, but this can be done on any date that you're accessing this, and select the checkbox next to the fan. Once the screen looks like this, press OK, and the individual selected will have access to register players within your club. You can do this for as many officials as you see fit to help you complete the player registration task. Now, to register players, you need to select the Player Registration tab on the left-hand side. Once the Player Registration tab has loaded, it will list a number of players that are currently linked to your club as a whole. The first thing that I'm going to demonstrate is how to detach any individual that is no longer with the club or playing with you in the 2017-18 season. If we take the first example, select the checkbox next to the individual's name. It will say the amount of players selected. In this instance, we've selected 1. Press the red Detach button. It will provide a warning message to ensure that you are 100% sure that you wish to detach that individual. If you are, press the red Yes button. This will now reduce the amount of players assigned to your club. As you can see, the players' number has gone down from 4 to 3. If you accidentally detach a player that you didn't mean to, you can reattach them by selecting the Detached Players drop down and pressing the Reattach button. These players will be available for a maximum of 14 days from the date that you detach them from the club. The second topic we're going to cover is attaching players to your club that may not show on your players list. This is done using the blue Search for Player icon. Select the icon. Once the page is loaded, you'll be requested to input some information. If you know the fan of the player that you're registering, enter it here. If not, use their full name. Secondly, enter their date of birth. And thirdly, enter their postcode. Then hit the green search button. The whole game system will search every record across the country to find a match to the information that you have inputted. If it cannot find a match, it will present the dialog box that has appeared saying 0 contacts found matching the criteria, and it will give you an option to search via further criteria including email, phone and any previous clubs that individual may be listed for. If the system has not been eligible to find someone via the full name, date of birth and postcode route, it is unlikely that you will find it using email, phone or previous club. With no results being returned, you need to create a new player. To do so, press the green Create a New Player link. From the information that you use to search for the player, the system will automatically populate the next screen. You need to ensure that you've selected gender for the player, ensure that all the details are correct, and then use the lookup address function to find the individual's address. Merely select it and press OK, and the boxes will be populated. If you have an email address for the player, this can be used for online consent later in the process, so please enter it in the box. And also, if you have a contact number, enter it here as well. And then press continue. If you have a photo for all your players at the present time when you're registering them, then you may upload it now. If you don't have the photo at the moment, that's not a problem, it can be uploaded at a later date. Please ensure that the photo meets the criteria as demonstrated on the screen. Once you've moved past the photo, the system will ask you to update the details for the player. As you are registering them for your club, you are the current club, and all you need to do is press Save this player at this point. This player record will now be generated and a fan assigned to the record for all future reference involving that individual, and that player will be assigned to your club. The system will automatically take you back to the Add Players section so you can continue to add players to your team or club. As I start to search for another player and enter the information that I have, the system has searched on the information that I've put and stated that there's more than one record matching the criteria for that individual. What you need to do now is contact Manchester County FA with the name and the date of birth of that individual and any further information you have about them, and ask them to deduplicate the record for that individual. Any member of staff will be able to do this and then tell you the correct fan to use to register the individual within the system. Once you have registered all your players and added them to the team using this Add Players function, there are several steps that need to be completed to register them within the league. To register players within the league, you need to select the Player Registration tab once again. Your full list of players will now be showing on the system. The first step to register a player within a league for the 2017-18 season is to gain consent from that player that they are happy to play for your team. This can be done in one or two ways: electronically via online consent, or offline if an individual does not have an email address on their record. That's why when creating any players, it is important to put an electronic email address into the record so that they can accept consent online. For those players that don't have an email address, you can confirm offline consent by clicking the checkbox next to the individual's name and selecting Confirm Offline Consent. Once you have gained consent from the individual to play for your team, use the checkbox to assign the player to the team that they will be playing for within the club for this coming season. You do this by selecting the checkbox and pressing the green Assign to Teams button. The system will show all teams that individual is eligible to play for the 2017-18 season. Select the team or teams that person will be playing for using the checkbox and press Add Players to selected teams. Now you can see that this player has got consent accepted and that they've been assigned to a team within your club. The third step in registering your player with a league is to complete an ID check. To complete an ID check, you need to click on the player's name. Each league has different identification requirements, and it is best to check with them as to what is deemed an acceptable form of ID verification. To add an ID check, scroll down the page and press the grey Add ID checkbox. This will then give you several options to verify an individual's identification. These are passports, birth certificate, driving licence, medical card, school ID, or previous season league ID card. You select the relevant ID that you have seen, confirmed which individual has seen it, and the date that that ID check took place. Once you've selected all the following, press the green Add ID check. The final step is to now submit the registration to the league for approval. To do so, click the Player Registration tab on the left hand side. Once you have gained consent for the player and completed an ID check for the individual, the final stage is to submit the registration to the league. You do so by selecting the checkbox next to the individual's name and pressing the green Submit to League button. The system will prompt you to confirm that all players you are registering within the league have international clearance. You do so by selecting the 2 check boxes and pressing submit. Should at any point you need any further information about international clearance, please visit thefa.com. Once you have submitted the registration request to the league box will change colour from grey to yellow, saying pending. This now means that the league registration official will be able to see the registration request for that individual and accept it. Once this box turns green, like the consent accepted box, then the individual will be registered in the league for the 2017-18 season. Should you have any questions relating to player registration, please contact Manchester FA, Cheshire FA, Lancashire FA, West Riding FA or Derbyshire FA, depending on where your parent county affiliation lies. Thank you for watching.